Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the main event. I'm Nicky. So joined this week as he sorts out his headphones. It is 2026. You can get them without wires now, but Aaron does not have that. How you doing, fellow?
I'm doing pretty good. I actually prefer the corded ones. I know a lot of people don't, but I like it. But then again, I am old, but glad to be back here. I was gone last week. I heard Josh filled in more than admirably for me, got me a point on our player picks. What more could I want?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter who I face these days. Unfortunately, I can't get anything over the line. So, Josh did defeat me, which I believe makes it 14-8.
Yes.
Someone would call that unassailable. That's the word that some have been using when talking about this. That's gone alongside the allegations, obviously, of flagrant and cheating abound. Josh didn't cheat, but did manage to, he did know of the person that he chose, and I went for a safe looking bet and still lost. So this week I am hoping to bring back some sort of point or two. Okay. 2 would be great. We do have player picks up first, guys. If you're new here, we are obviously doing the Rakeless. We don't know if it's going to be Rakeless again next month. We hope for our heart rates that it isn't, because we don't get it. But today is Rakeless. You got something to say, Aaron?
Yeah, I it's weird to say this, but I am ready to pay rake again.
Yeah. She wants some normalcy, man.
What have I become? I sometimes I look in the mirror, I don't even recognize myself. But I would like to get back to player picks. You're down 14-8. Yeah. I don't know if you had first pick last week. I think you should just get first pick this week anyway.
I had second pick last week because I let Josh, as our guest, have first pick. So I will be making a pick shortly, and I'm hoping that this selection of players maybe causes you some troubles in terms of your lack of knowledge of them, potentially, because we don't have any, I hesitate to say high rollers, but the average stakes are lower than we usually see, or at least we see somebody that's, slightly towards the 3-digit mark or above. Most people in the low double digits for stake, average stake this week. I am going to go for somebody that is simply at the top of that and also has a name that could be associated with me. That'll be Britzo1, who has made quite a few final tables, $52 average stake, which is somehow a lot higher than everyone else this week. And they did nearly make a final table here before. They came 10th in January. And they have a history of winning a 109 in the recent past. So Britzo1 is my pick. Obviously, over to you.
All right. So you're right that I don't know. Like, I think on this table, we don't have any repeats. We don't have people who have made the final table recently. And we've been doing a lot of picking from that crew just because we've seen them do it, right? We've seen these players. And so we're familiar with their game. We've seen them win even. And this is somewhat of a new crop. I do have some history with one of the players.
Here we go.
But you're going to be proud of me. I'm going to branch out. I'm going to do something different this time.
Is this pity? I don't want your pity.
No. This is actually me wanting this player to win, which is really the spirit of the game.
That is the spirit of the game. Which you have sullied. It has to be said.
Well, I've been doing so much winning. It's time to switch it up. I'm picking the player with the smallest bounty because I feel like they deserve it the most. The player who it appears this will be their high score regardless, so they're able to play more freely. And the player with only one tracked final table on 8-8 poker before this. So it's a combination of they deserve it, they can play more freely, and maybe beginner's luck. So I'm going to go with El Oliveira. That is my pick.
That is a great pick. That is well and truly in keeping with the spirit of this game, which has somehow been lost along the way. So hopefully this week we have a fairer fight. Both players picking someone they don't know. We do have a free roll if everyone wants to play some poker while they watch today. We do have that password for you now, which will be first PLC 888. First PLC 888. Not quite sure exactly why it's that, but any geniuses in the chat can let me know what they think that is. I actually sometimes I joke about this. I actually have no idea, unless I'm being stupid, what that could possibly refer to. Do you have any idea, Aaron?
No.
No. Okay, cool. Moving on. You weren't here last week, Aaron, but before we left Barcelona, you did give out Ambassador of the Week to yourself. Would you like to give it out one more time right now for this week?
Well, if it was based purely on player picks, how their chips are, I don't know if I would be Ambassador of the Week this week. I guess I have the information for you guys. I just saw it now. However, yeah, so I'll be really quick about it. Nothing really spectacular happened this week. And so I thought to myself, how do I deserve Ambassador of the Week? And I remember that poker and this Ambassador of the Week thing, it's not about being spectacular. It's about consistency and showing up and, just being in the mix. And that's definitely what I am today. And furthermore, it was either me or Lucia. And I found out Lucia doesn't really watch our show. So she can't be Ambassador of the Week. Therefore, it has to be me.
Okay. So Aaron Baroni, Ambassador of the Week, 1st of June here. We've been doing this now for 5 months. How does that make you feel?
Just each week, it's anybody's game. And I'm glad that I'm just honored, really, to keep winning this really prestigious award.
Well, there you go, guys. Aaron Baroni is Ambassador of the Week. We do have a few players involved here, but it looks like, Aaron, there might be a problem here for you specifically.
It's obviously not great when you pick a player and they have the fewest amount of chips, right? That's not great.
That's not a good start, no.
No, but when they're also not actually at the table, not great. That doesn't really help, What I will say is, to get a point in this game, I don't need to win. I just need to outlast your player.
Yeah, that is true. And this could very well be the best way of doing that.
It's possible.
It could be. Well, guys, there's a little battle going on here, but I'll say hello to you all because we always do. Berber, how you doing? Final table. Ajfilio, I'm going to get that right one day. Mickey Graham, PVD, Boogie, Welns, Dogmatush, Gedemonus, Run Gooder, Nettie's here. Walad Yoga also here. Farting Potato Lord, Darwin Classic Towers, Kuvai is here. How you doing, Kuvai? Darwin Classic, Koshinuk, Urzgod, Chichello, and Freemanem. Welcome in, everybody, early doors to our show. Very good to have you here. And like I said before, if you would like to play some cards this evening for free, you can go to 88 Poker Client, you can go to 88 Poker TV, special free roll, and the password is first PLC 888, and I don't know why. But that is the password that will get you in. Now, it has changed from disconnected to sitting out. Anything to read into that, Aaron, because I don't play a lot of tournaments?
You only get so long, I believe, to be in the disconnected title, right? Because they want to move the game along. Right, so I think they just eclipse that amount of time. But more importantly, Brits, your pick.
Yes.
Has a great spot.
Yeah, fantastic spot here. And we're into big blinds, which is going to help a lot. And it will put into sharper focus how tough of a call this would be for either Saint Gold or Deadmax. Deadmax flattened the Queen Jack off in position, hoping to be able to apply some pressure against a shorter stack, although it's not exactly short. Here comes Britzo one with a jam. And El Oliveira is back, Aaron.
That's good. That is helpful. Didn't miss any hands, They had like a 4s under the gun. That was it.
No. Never mind. Let's set out again. We're going to get a call from Deadmax. Don't you dare do it to me, Deadmax. Only a 10 on the river would knock Brits out and give Aaron a point, and it is not. Why does it always need to be like this, guys? Britzo 1 going to pick up that pot up to 30 big blinds. Nice and healthy. Aaron's pick. Look, this is what happens when Aaron doesn't use insider information.
I did expect them to be in the game. That was true.
The very bare minimum.
I think I should do more research into how stable of internet connection my picks may or may not have, because that's definitely going to play a role today.
Another sit back in from El Oliveira. This is the story of the day so far, and an action. The first action they've taken, so we can hope, because obviously we don't want to see anyone blind out. That would be unfortunate, considering I imagine they've worked pretty hard to get to this point, and now they might wish they hadn't connected at all, Aaron, because they do have ace jack. It is versus under the gun open. Is there any way that you find a way away from ace jack here on the button?
I think especially given how Missy P is one of the shorter middle stacks, you can expect their range to actually be pretty tight here. I think ace queens and always get in. Ace jack's right on the cusp, and you could fold it.
There will be no fold from El Oliveira, who's going to be at risk. And we have seen Mayan King fold a jack. So this could be a point for Easty. But more importantly, El Oliveira at risk here and needs to find a jack on the river or they'll be out of there. And Aaron, it is not a jack. And playing within the rules and the spirit of the game seems overrated. Does it not, my good sir? El Oliveira out in 8th place for $750 and $200 bounty going to Missy.
I don't want to make it too much about me here. So let's just say that's a really frustrating final table for El Oliveira.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, I feel the pain a bit, but you're having connection issues. You arrive a little bit late. You miss a few hands. You pick up Ace Jack, and you're out, and that's it. And it's like I waited a day for this. Thanks. Yeah. That said, I do think that is a high score for them, which is fantastic. And I wish them better luck on the next final table. But to be honest, it's hard to have worse. So I mean, only way to go is up.
Yeah, and now I'm free rolling you for another point.
Yeah.
I know you said it's not all about us, but it kind of is. Depends what vessel you look at it from, really.
I was going to pick Mayan King. That's the first time I played with it.
No! It looks like the point could be getting snuffed away pretty early doors here. Brit's picking up Ace Queen offsuit. And we can see that there is some trouble brewing here because Earnshaw in the big blind with Ace King. And that's not going to be the end of the action because Dead Max 66 here with 2 8s could go either way with this one.
Yeah, if he 3-bets here, it actually might save Brits. And that is a 3-bet jam.
That is a massive, massive jam with players behind with a huge amount of chips that effectively cover them for their tournament life. Missy, Earnshaw here with Ace King. I mean, what do you do here with 36 big blinds? I suppose there's not that many short stacks, so you don't have to worry about that. Ace King just seems too strong.
Yeah, and if you win the spot, you're the chip leader. You'd be chip leader if you win. And that's something that leads me towards call in the spot.
Well, we know that Missy folded an ace. We know that Brits would probably fold this hand if Earnshaw decides to go with it. What a brutal spot. What's the line here? I think you're drawing it probably at this very hand, if at all. Earnshaw all the way down to 1 second. Is he going to flick it in? It doesn't look like they are. They're going to time out. Brits now with Ace Queen, the vastly inferior hand to Ace King, is just going to swiftly let that one go. And what I wasn't expecting that at the start of that hand. I certainly wasn't expecting Earnshaw not to be all in at some point there. And it certainly doesn't look like it's going to be any avoiding this one. Ace 9 offsuit from Missy's going to open up. Earnshaw's going to 3-bet. And then I can't see any other option here but for Mayan King, but all in. And then Earnshaw's going to be in another horrible spot.
Yeah. You imagine the chips get in here, although perhaps he could 3-bet fold. It is a quick shove from the big blind.
Wow, very quick shove from Mayan King. And you have to imagine this is the best case scenario for Earnshaw with Ace Queen here, given this action, given where we are at this table right now, given the amount that Mayan King is risking with Missy still involved. Remember, we know they're folding, but Mayan doesn't know that when they instantly 4-bet jam. And now Earnshaw again into the tank with no time bank, by the way, Aaron.
Yeah, not much time left. And he does fold again. He does get away from it. I think you're right about the ranges in this spot and the one before. I think the one before the Ace King is actually a better call than the Ace Queen, but both are kind of similar. And the fact that Earnshaw has taken the more passive route makes me think he might be interested in laddering. To your point earlier, there are no real short stacks. In fact, with those 2 pots, Earnshaw is now really close to being the short stack. And so there is less ICM pressure overall, but Earnshaw made those folds. He's still in.
Yeah, and to be honest, we know that both situations he would have been a pretty big underdog because because of the folded cards that we could see. Earnshaw won't know right now. We have a feeling, I suppose, given the fact that he's folded, but Ace King and Ace Queen there in the situations that we saw, what the equities would have been to only lose I think it was 8, 9 big blinds. Yeah. It's a really unbelievable result. It won't feel like that right now, but they still have 27 big blinds, and a real chance at making an in because they are 1 double up away from chip lead.
Yeah, and it can be really frustrating in the moment because you're not going to know what your opponent had until sometimes never, or until you see the stream, which is another benefit. If you're playing the game, you can actually check out the stream later and see what your opponents had. But in the moment, it can be really frustrating. Like you're getting outplayed, you're getting owned. Nothing's going your way. But as you said, he made 2 folds where he would have got the money in pretty bad given the cards that we saw.
Yeah. Absolutely. And some debate in the chat whether if you're not going to play those hands, what are you going to play? It is not that simple, especially versus the action that we saw at this point of the final table.
Yeah, again, I think obviously those are really good hands, right? But given the action and the range he expected his opponents to have, I think those might be either the like, it's right there. It's the hand where it's either just good enough to call or just bad enough where you want to fold it, right? Like, I think if he had ace king the second time gets called, if he had like hand like jacks or queens the first time gets called, so he just maybe found his line and decided to fold it.
Yeah, definitely both of those right on the line. There's no way ace king would have been folded in that hand, and you have to imagine a hand as strong as queens or even ace king suited may have tipped the needle in favor of call for Earnshaw, who is up to 30 big blinds and is still very much in the mix, which is arguably the most important thing. Some may say that going for the chip lead is more valuable. Here we go with ace king for Earnshaw, who looks like they could be potentially rewarded for their previous passivity.
Yeah, I would bet if they get 3-bet here, they're not going to fold ace king. You know, they've done enough of that.
They also had a lot more chips before when they folded ace king relative to the rest of the stacks. So, you know, 37 big blinds effective it was last time. I think that given that Missy opened up the ace 3 off somewhat loosely under the gun, is going to mean that Deadmax is not going to be defending obviously this 10-8 suited, and now Earnshaw probably just picks up these blinds and antes and the extra raise from Missy, unless we see some rather dastardly moves from Missy, who is not going to let this go just yet, by the way. Ace 3 off going to go for the call versus Earnshaw's 3-bet. And now Earnshaw with Jack 6 is not going to be in love with this board, but we know that Missy has a massive, massive whiff here with the ace 3 offsuit. It's a tiny 10% bet here from Earnshaw. And a snap check raise from Missy. Quick call from Earnshaw. Not sure I can keep up with what's going on here, Aaron. There's some very, very strange happenings in this hand. In these positions specifically, 5 on the turn changes nothing about the leader right now. Gives a few more chop outs, but that was inevitable pretty much for Missy. 6 or 5 would chop this one up. King does not. And now, does Missy want to try to bluff this King of Diamonds river? They're going to go for a small bet. We know that's not going to work, but does Earnshaw want to try to elicit a little bit more value here from ace king?
I think he's just going to call. Given what we've seen so far, I think calling is the more prudent choice here. Save yourself chips if you are beat. It is a king that completes a diamond flush, so.
And yeah, that is going to be a call. And Earnshaw now, as we've just spoken about, now up to 50 big blinds, dodged a few really tough spots, and now really into the mix with 50 bigs. Missy really stepping out there with the ace 3, maybe trying to put some pressure on the shorter stacks, knowing that you cover. It is a strategy that people use quite a lot. When you cover, you want to play pots with people that you have more chips than, and they generally have to fold a little bit more. Didn't work out on this occasion. Yeah,
you can imagine a different river, though. Maybe Missy wins that pot.
Yeah, goes for the block on a low diamond, for example. You can't imagine that Earnshaw would have been very happy about that. Speaking of not happy, here's mega move with ace 10 offsuit. Probably one of the worst hands they're going to have in this situation, but a tiny 3-bet from Deadmax to 5 bigs. Makes it tempting to peel here in position, although this hand is really quite bad. Gonna let it go.
Get away from it. Also, like, when a chip leader 3-bets you or a near chip leader at a final table, it always feels like they are bullying. And so there's a tendency to play back at them. And ace 10's right there where you could use that hand. He gets out of the way. And, correctly so.
Yep, absolutely. So we are seeing some interesting play so far. Definitely a lot more in the way of action and aggression and maybe, I don't want to say looseness, because we usually see quite tight starts, quite nervy starts from players. This has not been that.
Yeah, the only tight folds we've had were really the ones from Earnshaw, but both times he definitely had the worst equity.
Yeah, and we're going to have another situation here for sure, because even Earnshaw could do something here. Going to call out of the small blind, and now Mayan King is just going to call as well. So avoiding complete disaster here is Missy as the jack rolls off on the flop, and now the ace queen with a heart as well. an interesting situation for them. And Earnshaw's going to lead out the Jack 10-4 here. Mayan King calls. Missy calling as well. Here's the 3 of diamonds. Can't keep up with the action in this one. People making very quick decisions, and there's a lot to talk about these decisions as well. I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, we're very used to the live setting where we have hours between hands. But this is the way it's been played. I think it gives Missy a decent chance to win this pot if they decide to, well, not so much now. Mayan King leads top pair, top kicker, and that should be the end of things, and it is. Okay, we got one prediction right. Go team.
Is the terminology still lead when obviously Earnshaw was the aggressor from the flop, even though it was in the form of a donk? Is it still called a lead if we bet the turn after that initial donker goes for a check?
I think it still can be used, but it might not be the most accurate term.
Okay. I just assumed that was a bet because the aggressor had checked, so we just taking our option to...
Yeah, but also the pre-flop aggressor just called. Does that mean they no longer have the... I guess they didn't have the betting lead. Do you have to raise to keep the lead? I'm not sure.
Who knows,
These
guys?
are the important things, yeah.
Aaron should know these things. I am just asking Aaron questions, and sometimes he knows the answers, guys. Most of the time he does, to be fair to him. Today, not the case.
For all the answers, chat. All of them.
Missy here flat in the deuces, and we know they've been fairly trigger happy despite not hitting in the way that they would hope. This time they do decide to check back, and they do have the best hand right now. Saint Goal with a great hand to begin barreling, but chooses not to. And now Missy, will they try to take their deuces to show? I don't think there's an element of something to be gained from potentially betting this hand and getting maybe some valuable protection from this exact type of holding, which we assume is most likely at this point. Now, I think the fold is in order as Saint Goal picks up a pair of aces on the river and takes this one down.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen a lot, actually. Like, the deuces are going to be unimproved, so betting on the turn can get you some value from ace-king, ace-queen, king-queen, other ace-high type stuff. Yeah,
absolutely. Not to forget, guys, we do have giveaways today. $309 tickets will be available to you, and also a $320 ticket by the virtue of the Wheel of Justice, which you already needed to be on for the draw to this evening. If you're not there right now, you could play again next week. You can't register for that tonight. You can only register for that from tomorrow onwards. Hope that all makes sense. But yeah, last week we had a couple of absentees on the wheel spin. Josh put a lot of effort into the spin the wheel. You can tell that he's a guest star because we have kind of run out of energy for the real high octane spin the wheels. Looking good here, by the way, for Brits. We know Dead Max has put in a lot of chips before with pocket ace, and this would be a completely reasonable spot to do that in.
Definitely. Can reshove it in.
Quick jam here. Brits obviously going to call this one off, and it's a very big spot for Brits with the 2 queens. And here comes the flop, needs to fade an 8, and now only running 8s, and it is not going to be that. As unlikely as that was, it was possible, but now Brits locking things up on the turn up to 41 big blinds. There's hope. There's hope for Brits.
Yeah. And both of Brits double ups come with queens, both against Dead Max. Came into this final table as the almost short stack with like 10 bigs and just up to 41 in what, 20 minutes? Like, it's a pretty great, when you think in your head, how could this go well for me? Pretty much follow the game plan that Brits 01 has done so far.
Yeah,
pick
queen's
up good hands,
hand.
Double up, do it again.
Yep. And it's not usually as simple as that, I would say. 2 fairly innocuous looking run outs. So we had a little gut shot in the first one for Dead Max, but apart from that, fairly plain sailing for the all-in player Brits. And I'm hoping they can take this one down now, and that would be extremely good for me. It may even make things more interesting. Obviously, I am struggling desperately. I had a really good middle portion of the year, but unfortunately lagging behind due to the rampant cheating. And now I'm just hoping to get back in the game somewhat. I'm already feeling good to have a first point on the board in 6 weeks or something.
Yeah, just get a free roll it. I will say the game is more fun when your heart is in it. And we were a couple weeks away if I kept winning from you just quitting the game entirely.
Oh no, I never quit. It's a better story that way. Angel here with a gut shot, by the way. Flush draw for Saint Goal, a much better hand. 7, though, would be an incredibly interesting card, and the 3 is not completely irrelevant as Earnshaw picks up an open-ended straight draw, and that top end obviously is to the 8, which would matter because obviously Saint Goal has a 5 as well. So a 7 would have been fairly disastrous for Saint Goal. It's not a 7, and now Earnshaw pairs the 8 to take the lead. And they're going to go for a little tiny prod.
Yeah, just a little block, hoping maybe get value out of a king high, out of a hand like a 6 or pocket 5s.
Or maybe to induce some aggression from hands that they don't expect to. Value hands they don't expect to check about the turn, so they're going to potentially lay the trap to go for a call versus a raise on the river.
I mean, min bet, call raise in that spot would have been pretty crazy. I would have liked to see that happen.
Well, Earnshaw, after a few big folds, is now, as you can see, second in chips and looking healthy.
Yeah, you know, we thought he was going to be on the tighter side after the first 2 folds, and the hand after that, he opened 10-9 offsuit from MP, and now he's flatting the 8-5 out of small blind, flatting behind 8-5. We might have pegged him incorrectly.
It's a field player.
And he, so far, has made the right move.
Yep, and we've got an interesting 4-way limped pot here, and another very similar gut shot for Earnshaw. King high board this time rather than ace high, so don't think they'll be folding just yet with the opportunity to turn that straight. Didn't manage it last time, but did win the pot. And I think that we will be going 4 ways potentially to the turn, unless Mega Move wants to raise now. Their hand doesn't really get any better than this. Going to be just a call.
4 ways, top pair, no kicker. You know, probably don't want to put a bunch of money in.
It's almost like no good thing that can happen. They are going to lead the turn. The deuce dry enough for them to want to go for that. And Earnshaw, by the way, picked up another straight draw on the turn to the 3. It's very similar hand to the last one. And will he try again to river the straight? It looks pretty appealing to do so here. Mayan King should be the one getting out of the way, but no, Earnshaw wants to try to win this hand now, and it very well could work.
It could against these 2 hands. Really, he's hoping that Mega Move thinks his top pair isn't that good, which on this board, multi-way, I could totally see him folding. He does, and now dead max with the better draw.
Yeah, the better draw, but out of position with those stack sizes, with the raise size. You don't even know if you're going to be good if it is a diamond. Lets it go. And Earnshaw now, chip leader after everything that we've seen. Incredible.
I would like to pick Earnshaw this week, if that's okay.
Yeah, and that would be something that I would expect from someone as happy to cheat as you have been.
Does anybody ever beat you legitimately in anything, or no?
No.
Okay, all right. Now
it's always the fault of others.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
I do not want Earnshaw.
Would you like Mayan King, Aaron? Top pair for Earnshaw here. Set of 6s for Mayan King. It's not like Earnshaw is going to be overwhelmed with joy versus lots of bets here. So Mayan King, while they will get some value from this one, it's not like Earnshaw needs to go broke for 60 big blinds on this one. Oh dear, it's the 10 of diamonds on the turn, and now the hand for Earnshaw looking a lot stronger. And you wouldn't even blame them for check raising this turn, Aaron.
No, very board law draws on it.
But it's a big size from Mayan King, and that may dissuade Earnshaw from raising. The board is so dynamic. Earnshaw could go so many ways with this one. Gonna call. It's a queen on the river.
Oh, no.
Earnshaw backdoors a boat, and Mayan King does as well, but it's not as good as Earnshaw's, and there's no way that Mayan King is going to be able to get away from this one, surely, unless they go for a around pot size bet, and Earnshaw will obviously shove. This is what we're seeing here. Can Mayan King get away from a full house here, Aaron? It is the worst full house available, but it is still a full house. They can't get away from it. They're snapping it off, and that is that. Earnshaw saved themselves twice from huge equity flips, finds an unbelievable full house run out, and Mayan King, ice cold, sent to the rail in 7th place. $1,000 to their name, but that will be no consolation right now.
Don't mean to interrupt, but I
would
like to pick Earnshaw.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I would also like to pick Earnshaw.
That is brutal for Mayan King, by the way. It was the player that I played with the most, I was going to pick, and I don't blame them for going broke with a full house there. I think that your opponent could have worse hands that shove for value potentially, and it's hard to put them on the running queen 10. So yeah, just pretty gross spot for Mayan King. Hopefully, the prize money and the fact that I've seen him in a spot like this before will make him feel a little better. But
also, like, it's not just that they could have potentially worse hands, right? It's just look at how big the pot is. Look how much you've already put in there. Imagine folding and being wrong. It's just, you can't really blame them for that one at all. And it's not like Earnshaw has like that many full houses. Some of them will raise the flop, like flop sets that are better than sixes may raise the flop on that board. Texture pocket tens may well raise the turn. So you can't really hope to be beat by that many hands. It may only be queen 10 or a unlikely slow played set from the flop.
Yeah, and people, even on paired boards, play their ace high flushes aggressively. And so I could see ace high flush wanting to put the rest of the money in, maybe even a king high flush. And we have seen crazy things where people put in worse value hands in situations like that. So
yeah, for sure. And this has been a peculiar final table so far as well. There's been a lot of very large shoves, like not a lot of protection of the stack being done by our players, and Missy going to exhibit that as well here. He's looking for an ace or a queen, or Earnshaw is going to have even more chips, if that's possible, up to 140 big blinds after another rivered full house. And we are looking at a player here and running away with this final table.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty neat that they made 2 tight folds early, and people in chat were like, oh my God, well, if you're not gonna play those hands, what are you gonna play? And the answer is other hands that allow me to get to about 140 big blinds. How about that?
Namely full houses.
I'll play those, yeah.
Yes. And wow, Dead Max has been incredibly aggressive pre-flop, has preferred to use the all-in to their advantage as much as possible. Earnshaw is, I don't think ever thinking about calling there, but it almost just sitting back and thinking, well, this isn't really fair. King 10 suited. How am I supposed to fold this hand? But you do have to. Yeah,
it's a really wonderful hand to have there, not so much versus 30 big blind jam. But when I see a player do a jam like that, my first thought is they don't want to play with me, or they don't want to play post flop. And, at that point, what I want to do is put them more in situations where they have to play with me post flop.
Yeah, indeed. Saint Goal here picks up a gut shot to go along with their flush draw, and it's going to take this one away from Dead Max on the turn. So they are clearly in second place here, but it is a distant second place. Earnshaw with maybe the biggest stack that we have seen, other than maybe Murciano in Barcelona, three-handed.
And he was having the time of his life, as you could imagine, having all the chips in a tournament. And now Earnshaw gets to have that same level of enjoyment.
Yeah,
and to
absolutely.
Think, like an orbit or two ago, they were like, man, I just made these folds. I had to 3-bet this when I fold ace king. Ugh, and then you see how the tables turn really quickly in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. So another fold here from Brits. And we're approaching the time of the evening where usually we flutter a ticket out to the chat by means of a silly game. And we might do that very shortly. I just want to prepare you for that emotionally.
We're running out of time here. At this rate, it'll be over before the break.
We could all go to bed at, what time is it for you? 1 o'clock?
Noon, noon.
Is it really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I could have an early night.
Yeah, I can go to bed now.
Dead Max here with top pair. The first time they've really had something post flop, other than that 9 high flush draw, and it's going to be a call from Earnshaw. Neither player will like this turn card, and we could end up in a situation where Earnshaw on the river finds themselves close to the bottom of their range, dare I say.
Not a bad spot to bet here also, just because when your opponent has a 10 or a jack, this is the card where they give up on, and he turns his 9s into a bluff, so really well done there.
I mean, Earnshaw's been pretty heavily dialed in here. We know we've seen some, maybe you could argue tighter folds, but really when you think about it, at this stage of tournaments, players don't put their chips in without a really good reason. And Earnshaw just didn't think that their hand gave them a reason good enough. They probably will do now, though, as Earnshaw wakes up with ace-jack versus the jam of Dead Max, looking for anything in the upper regions of the board here. Ace-jack or king would do it for Earnshaw, but it is none of those, and Dead Max is going to take a big chunk off the top of Earnshaw's stack, up to 50 big blinds.
We can talk about strategy there, but I don't know about you, Nick. I thought for sure Earnshaw was going to win that pot.
Yeah, I did think so too.
I know it's a flip, but it's like 90-10 Earnshaw.
Yeah.
Very surprised.
So, Aaron, we are going to play thinks game. Would you like to go first or second today?
No, I've done no work, believe it or not. So I would like you to go first, actually. Or you
Ambassador of the week, Aaron Baroni, having done no work, is going to ask me to go first. That's fine. I am ready. I'm always prepared.
Perfect. We don't really only need one of us to be prepared, if you think about it.
Yeah, that's correct, and it is usually me. But your job is mostly just winging it, isn't it? Really, when you think about it, it's just things get thrown over to you,
grimacing faces when they make plays and stuff. It's really that. Yeah,
exactly. And you already have all the information in your head to deal with every question that could possibly be thrown at you. So it's almost like unfair. As is how Earnshaw seems to be running, barring that obviously ace-jack flip just then, which would have left us dangerously close, by the way, to the end of the game. Thankfully, we have a little bit more legs in this one as Earnshaw flops a straight. Brits, though, with a gut shot to a straight themselves, but that will not help one bit, and they're going to get away from it on the flop. Timely.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a board where your fives feel pretty okay.
Yeah.
So gets away from it.
No work and yet still gets paid. Where's the justice? Well, where is the justice indeed?
Well, it's all.
I'm going to make him work now, though. You know? I'm going to make him work right now.
You want me like all the prep work? Like, I mean, look, I just wrote my question now. All right, so I have my question. You want me to go first? I needed a second to really make it topical.
It's entirely up to you. If you choose.
What if I was bluffing? What if I don't have a question?
then you get to choose the other one and make everyone think.
I can go first.
Okay, sure. What do I think? Guys, we're going to play Nick Thinks up first today. Aaron's going to ask me a question. I'm, to the best of my abilities, going to give an answer to that question. You are looking for the answer that I think it is, not what the actual answer is, if that even exists. The closest person to the answer that I give will win a $109 ticket. Only guess once. If you do guess twice, you will be disqualified completely, even if your first guess was correct. Also, if your answer is already taken, we will allow you to guess one more time. Just put repeat answer and then your new answer next to that one as well. Hope the rules are very clear. Aaron, what's the question?
Okay. Well, a week ago, we were in Barcelona for A-Late Poker Live, and you and I got to commentate the main event, won by potentially like your favorite player of all time. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty close.
And you had mentioned how on that final table, when we were like 3 or 4 handed, he had all the chips in play almost, just a massive stack. And my question for you is, what was the total number of chips in play in the Barcelona main event? So when he won the event, when Murciano won the event, how many chips did he have? So if you guys follow the action in Barcelona, that'll give you a leg up, give you a better idea of what the actual answer is. And since Nick was commentating, he will know. So again, trying to reward people who are paying attention. Total number of chips in play in the A-Late Poker Live Barcelona main event.
Ooh, what a doozy. Earnshaw here with a 3-bet bluff, by the way. Going to take this one down versus Brits, sadly for me.
What a great question.
It's a really good question, and I think... I think I'm probably going to go with that.
Okay, you're getting there close then. So Queen Jack, another 3-bet bluff from Earnshaw. As you said, Nick, he's been dialed in. Like, he's done better when he doesn't have hands that are like really good. Mm-hmm. You know, like pre-flop, I ace king, ace queen, no thank you. I'll take the Queen Jacks, the ace nines, the Queen tens.
I've locked my answer in, but I think it might be wrong. It is what I think, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but how could it be wrong?
Is it what I think?
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Well, you're probably, I mean, how often do you think we're right about this? The whole game is not to get it totally right. It's to let the chat try to get inside your head. It's for them.
Okay. So it's already done. I've already locked it in. Oh, indeed. Earnshaw here with 2 10s. Brits with the hand of the day for them. 2 queens. One is dead in the hand of Saint Goal. And Earnshaw has been hoovering up chips. This will be potentially a small 3-bet or a jam as well. Both seem feasible from Brits. Just which way do you want to go with it? Mega move lurking behind, by the way, that only 8 big blinds should affect how everyone views this situation.
Does do the small 3-bet, and 10s are very strong here. Just decides to call.
Yeah, well, they do decide to call, but there's nothing going to be helping Earnshaw get away from this one on 6-4-4. You'd have to imagine with just over pot back that there's absolutely no way this money does not end up in the middle, and Brits will be in great shape for a third double up with 2 queens. If that is the case, Earnshaw here with this hand, with this board, it is very typical to see a shove. Do we see that shove now? Just going to be a call. They might save themselves the last 12.6 here, Aaron, as the king rolls off on the turn.
Yeah, about 2/3 pot behind for Brits, though. Could see a world they decide to shove their queens for value against worse pairs or draws.
And neither player enjoyed this turn card. Will Brits slow down or will they bet again? It is good for their overall range, but they are going to check. And now Earnshaw with 10s. We know they're probably not going to be putting Brits here all in. But we have made some assumptions today already, and they've proven to be wrong. Check, check, as Brits does not go for the value. They are going to take down this pot, though. And probably will be wishing they were a bit more.
Wins that pot, actually.
Yeah.
Just because the club completes, there's the overcard. Don't know if Brits would have folded, but so far, yeah, they get to play pocket queens. Don't really need to play anything else.
No, they don't. Looks like a pretty solid strategy to me. I might even incorporate it into my own game. Earnshaw here defends the 10 deuce offsuit. The same goal with, well, the hand you want to have against 10 deuce offsuit.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you could design the perfect spot, that's what you're going your opponent have 10 deuce. But I don't mind the defend pre. Like when you're chip leader and you think you can put pressure post flop on the middle stacks, then you can defend a little wider.
Yeah. You definitely can. And now Earnshaw may be tempted to try and take this one away. Significant pressure over multiple streets could get the job done, but it is going to be a check. And now no amount of pressure would help here as Earnshaw goes for the bet on the river. For value, by the way, hoping to get called by something like a 5, pocket 8s, things like this. But St. Galt, river's a full house with that case 10 is going to go for value of their own with a raise.
Yeah, and Earnshaw quickly gets out of the way now with this after a small bet. Could have worked though, as you said. King high 8s could pay off.
Mm-hmm. The contest is closed, Aaron. The contest is closed. And we do have a winner. And it's going to be unpopular. You may even come under some scrutiny.
Well, what I wanted was to cause chaos. And I've done that, not only in the chat, but also behind the scenes. So I've already won. The question now is figure out who in the chat won.
Well, this might be one of the only times. I don't know if this is definitely true, but I think my answer is correct. Not only because I said it, but actually the amount of chips in play may well have been this. Because depending on what the starting stack was, we do have an all here from Mega Move, which will focus on first because Brits is obviously going to be all in here with Ace King, and they'll just need to fade a 7 to knock off Mega Move to take us to four-handed. We know Earnshaw's going to get out of the way. And they are out of the way. So only a 7 here or a diamond now for Mega Move would help as well. 4 as well working for them. Can they find any of those? No, they cannot. Brits up to over 40, and we are down to 4. 5th place paying 19.75 today.
I know you're supposed to lose even after that flop with the ace-7 with a diamond, but it just feels, it does feel like too many outs, right?
It was a flip on the flop. Yeah,
pretty much, yeah. But Brits wins another one. Finally, this time winning a pot without pocket queens. Way to go. Yeah. Only had to have ace-king that time.
Yeah, and I want to say things should start to slow down a bit here because we are a lot deeper than we have been, but players haven't really seemed that interested in ICM today, Aaron. I don't know if I'm stepping too far in saying that.
Our 2 most active players basically were Deadmax and Earnshaw, and they've gotten here by playing their style. I doubt they're going to go away from that right now, especially Earnshaw, who still is a huge chip leader, will likely be applying pressure. And so, yeah, we are down to 4. I expect it to not slow down at all. It might even speed up.
Yeah, could well do. And like I said, we do have a winner, and I think... I did know exactly how many entrants there were, and I thought I knew how many chips you start with. So I simply times those together, Aaron.
That's the way to do it. The total number of chips in the Barcelona main event. I didn't even know the number of players, so I'm glad you knew that. Again, all that prep work you do. And so you multiply what numbers together?
Well, I knew it was 350 because I remember looking at it thinking, oh, 350, that's a nice round number. And I thought they had 50k starting stacks. So I timed those together. We got 17.5 million, which a lot of people said. But the first to say it was Drop Set 1. Drop Set 1 said exactly 17.5 million as well, probably using the same maths and hoping, beyond hope, that I also remembered what the answer was. Sometimes the answer is the answer. It's very rare. But Aaron gave me a little bit of a gimme because I'm so unbelievably locked in. And locked in as well as Drop Set. So congratulations, Drop Set.
Yeah, and to be fair, many of you were locked in, but it was about who was the fastest. Normally here, that's not how it works. But just to keep you guys on your toes, that's how it worked today. And congrats, Drop Set.
Yeah, well done, Drop Set. It's all about winning. Oh, wow. Brits here making a move with the King Jack after taking flop in position. Does have a little bit to work with here on this Queen 6-4 in the form of backdoors, but decides to take it as a bluff. And Earnshaw, who 3-bet out the big blind, which we know Aaron is overdone, decides that they can make better hands fold like ace high by just raising flop. And I really, really like it.
Yeah, it worked out perfectly, right? Ran up against the ace 8 and just got the better hand to fold. And Brits, now with a very healthy stack, I know you're feeling great.
Oh, I'm feeling good. 55 big blinds. We're well in the mix here as Brits. Can they bring it home? For me, it's all about me. It's not about the 8140 that you could get for coming first. But on that note, Aaron, 8140 for first in this tournament.
Yes.
Yet, somebody came 13th. Romantic_R, spelt with a K. Mm-hmm. And they got $11,000. Make it make sense.
So, Nick, this is a Rakeless event, as you know. That's why the 8140 is a little higher than what we've had in the past. It is also a mystery bounty event, which means half of the prize pool is in the bounties or in these pixelated envelopes we have on the table. You knock out a player, the envelope appears, and then your prize is pulled from that, virtually pulled. And Romantic's prize, or at least one of them, was the top bounty of $10,000. So that is why he won more for 13th place than anybody, well, potentially anybody, will win in this tournament because he pulled the top bounty. And you can too, if you play the $109 8-late poker mystery bounty.
Yeah, we can't say Rakeless right now because we don't know if it's continuing. We don't know right now. We've had no word, guys. We're nervous, apprehensive. There's trepidation.
It's not going to hit the same when I say play the 109 mystery bounty raked. You know, it's not...
Yeah, people are going to say. I think they're not going to ask us to say that, but people are going to be like, "What do you mean? There's rake in this poker tournament? We've set a dangerous precedent."
Correct. I think we did too much of a good thing potentially, but maybe we'll keep doing it. I'm pretty sure even if we don't do it next month, they'll probably bring it back. They like to not charge money for things. So
yeah, that's the main core
have these
strategy.
Rakeless tournaments. We have a lot of free rolls. So big fan of giving the customers things for free.
Yeah, and generally speaking, that is good business practice to say, you know what, guys, we value you. You want to have some good value? Here you go. There's some value for you. Speaking of value, and you did mention, maybe there's someone who could eclipse the 10,000 that was already taken by Romantic. There is somebody. Deadmax has a 3K bounty off of 5 bullets, by the way. So already making a healthy profit, regardless of how many stabs they've had at this one. Deadmax could, if they win the whole thing, be over 11K, which would be similar to the score that Romantic had, because they did pick up a 1K as well, Romantic. So they did have 11,000 in bounties and their placement as well, which was worth about 400 or so. So pretty good day for them yesterday and the day off tonight.
I know we just did a Nick Thinks, but can we do another quickly, just me and you?
Yes.
It's a little addition problem. So Deadmax is in this tournament for 5 bullets. Mm-hmm. How much rake did they pay?
Okay, so
5
5.
bullets.
I need to go back to my level 1 maths. Just give me a moment. So 5 times the number of rake per bullet, which is nothing. Mm-hmm. 5 times nothing when you multiply a number by nothing, it's always nothing. So they didn't pay any rake.
That is correct.
Wow.
0 rake. You did it. I had faith.
I got there. That was close. I didn't know if I was going to be able to figure that one out. No rake paid.
None.
By anybody in this tournament. Not one person paid any rakes playing this tournament. Aaron's just, you're smirking. You're just like, well, I know we've said it a lot, but it still bears repeating.
I like the fact that somebody in the chat who doesn't enjoy all of our segments, the pits, does enjoy this little rake.
They're hard to please, man.
There's something for everybody.
There is something for everybody, and there are some things that aren't for everybody, and yet we will continue to do those things because they're for us.
I was trying to explain to people in my life about how much fun we had commentating the main event in Barcelona. Yeah. And I mentioned it, and we did all these bird puns. Like, why'd you do bird? Why would you do that? I'm like, well, there's a guy, his name was Hawkins. They're like, okay, yeah. And like, but then another guy sat down, his name was Falcon. So we made a bunch of bird puns. And literally everyone's response is, all right. Like, no one enjoys it as much as we do, and that's okay.
Allow me to give you a different way of presenting it. If you go to 6 hours and 21 minutes on the day 2 stream, and you, instead of saying we made some bird puns, they were really good, you just play them that section of the stream. They will for sure understand, because I showed that to my dad and he was creasing. He was having a great time with that. I think the proof is in the pudding, they say. We should definitely make it. I would have already made a clip out of that 5-minute segment if I didn't think that my job would be on the line as a result of it.
All right, I'll do it. I'll make the clip.
Okay, yeah, you're much safer than me.
I feel pretty good.
But I feel like the best clips on the internet, I showed you a few of them when we were in Barcelona and you really enjoyed them, are when commentators are unable to compose themselves in the face of very funny things.
Yeah.
So maybe we get away with
commentating, and not us, of course, but generally, it's a very professional approach.
Yes.
And we always do try to lock in when there is action, and that happens more online just because of the rapid pace of play. But in a live setting, people are taking more time. There's more space to fill, and we found ourselves just filling the space with things that we enjoyed. And also, if you have us do commentating at 4 p.m., it's going to be a little more buttoned up. But if it's 2 a.m., all bets are off.
Or 4 a.m.
Yeah.
We're going to a flop here. We are playing a poker game, and we are going to continue to make sure that we bring you the action when it is happening. And Saint Goal here with a straight draw. Pair of 5s for Brits and a queen on the turn. The queen has been their friend today. Many in the deck for Brits.
Yeah, and Saint Goal here with the straight draw does just check it back. Doesn't try to barrel through, and now has 7 high.
Yeah, and if Brits tries to show this one down, you'd have to imagine that Saint Goal will be forced into bluffing this 7 high on the river.
And really, a lot of the draws do get there, right? All their 3s get there, their diamonds get there, and they have nut low.
Yeah.
For a good time to bet.
I think that could very well be enough. Brits decides that indeed doesn't see that many things that didn't get there. Eventually lets it go, and I think that's a fair enough fold and a great bluff from Saint Goal as well.
Yeah, I thought they could have barreled turn, but check back bet is also very effective, and it works out great.
Yeah, they got themselves a nice river to do it on as well. Definitely worked out well for them. Earnshaw still in a commanding lead here, but nothing insurmountable as we move towards the end of the first session of this evening's action. No aces tonight yet.
No, not yet.
Not one pair of aces.
I feel like because you said that, we're going to see it very soon.
Yeah? I don't see Leo Jacora anywhere.
You did call me the live Leo Jacora after I picked up aces and kings back to back.
Yes, because it's completely unacceptable, isn't it?
You were correct, yes.
Yes.
Came in a very big tournament, high equity spot.
Yeah. Well, I had my fun in that one. I paid my money and managed to slow roll the person that pays the bills.
It was one of the most fun poker experiences I've had in a long time. Just playing poker with your friends for an amount of money that nobody really wanted to lose, but nobody was going to be that bothered by if they did lose it. And that kind of poker like is at its purest form. It's what, why I got into the game, and it was a great experience to have with everybody in Barcelona. Another reason to come out to an 888 Poker Live event, the vibes, pretty good.
And the vibes will be strong in 888 Live in London, as we will be taking to those streets later on this year. So if you do want to get to an event, you've got plenty of time to plan to come to that one. If you so desire, we'd love to see you there. Aaron, I don't know if you're definitely going to be there or not. I will definitely be there because it's my home city. So I'll see you there if you do end up coming, guys, as Deadmax flops the best hand here with a pair of jacks. Myself and Aaron will be going to the same place at the start of next month. Anything further to add to that, Aaron?
I was going to see if St. Goal was going to turn his hand into a bluff here. But now Deadmax value betting second pair. St. Goal might decide to call because he just thinks he won't have enough ace-x that didn't check back turn.
Yeah, certainly wouldn't be unreasonable, Deadmax, though. It's not going to get any more value from this one. Yeah, we'll be at the Vic. We'll be at the Grosvenor Victoria in Edgware Road. But yes, Aaron, where are we going next month together?
Next month, you and I will be at the World Series of Poker, playing in at least the main event, if not some other tournaments too. I was trying to get us to play the tag team, but that's like a week and a half earlier, so that's not happening. But yeah, every man for himself, the $10,000 WSP main event, the tournament where you and I both cashed it last year, and we were the only members of the team to actually cash it, so they are naturally sending us back again to make a deeper run.
Got to defend our min cashes if we can. We're going to have an all in here, guys. I don't anticipate there to be any casualties because, as we can see, two of these hands are about as good as each other. Ace King versus Ace King here. Two flush draws for St. Goal, though, some say. Slight favorite here is Deadmax, but not anymore. Diamonds were available for St. Goal, but we do whiff those on the turn. So as you were.
Yeah, so we'll be there for about 10 days.
Yes.
Should be a really fun time. I think we're going on break now, so we should talk more about it.
Yeah, we are going on break. That is not... No, we're not going on break, Aaron.
Oh, that's right. We're 5 minutes behind. That's right. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so
I can tell you what we're going to do. Yeah, last year I said Nick and I both cashed it. It was a really great experience to not only make a run in the main, but just to be there in Vegas during the series and play and being around everyone. Should be a lot of fun and hopefully a very profitable trip for at least, one of us.
Yeah, well, thankfully, due to the nature of having a swap with you, if one of us is profitable, then both of us are.
Imagine if that swap actually pays out for like the, swapping with someone who makes a final table on the WSOP main. What would that be like?
Oh, I'd have no idea. Some people would. Some people, that's the only way that they actually make money in this game anymore, I hear.
If you have a really good swap game, you don't have to go to the cards at all.
True.
That's a pretty decent turn for the 5 dudes.
It's a great turn for Brits, and it's a great turn for me, as we're looking for Brits to build up a little bit of head of steam here so that we can get myself back in the player picks games. We would be up to double figures if Brits can find a way. And wow, Earnshaw here comes out with the King 10 off buggy on the turn. No draw other than the two overcards. A very strange bet from the King 10 with two players behind that could very well have connected with this board. Earnshaw wants to apply as much pressure as possible in this very healthy ICM situation for them with the chip lead. And they can, in their mind, still hit a king or a 10 to make the best hand. But we know that they're actually dead on this turn. And even more so as Brits boats up on the river. Earnshaw knows better than most that full houses are pretty good hands. But only king high for Earnshaw. Do they follow through with this elaborate bluff on the river? They do not.
Yeah, I think some other rivers they might have gone for it. Obviously, king or a 10. A spade is kind of fun. Maybe a straight completing card. But there, it's hard to make your opponent fold a 7 at this point when the board pairs deuces. And we expect Brits to bet here. Be shocking if he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine maybe being able to beat something like 8-9 here as Earnshaw. They haven't folded yet, and they're getting a very good price.
Yeah, there are some draws that bricked that might call turn. Some 6-8, some 6x, I guess.
Yeah, good fold there, though, from Earnshaw. Lets this one go, gets out of the way. So, yeah, we will be playing that. We will be having some chicken on some dinner breaks. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, eating during the series is actually more difficult if the poker goes well.
Yes.
If it goes poorly, you get your choice of all the restaurants. If it goes well, you're with the big pack of people, trying to shovel food in their mouth in your half-hour dinner break at the food court. So, pros and cons for running deep.
Unless you run deep, but you happen to have a swap with someone who's willing to go and get your dinner for you.
Oh, that would be amazing. If only.
If only, guys. That would never happen. No one would ever do that. Right. Button moving here, but not before we take a break, guys. We'll be back in 5 minutes. We are going to have the last knockings of the free roll registration. We're going to have the free roll flame out, and we're going to give away more tickets, so don't go anywhere.
Well, he's just announced to the table, I'm all in blind, lads. Oh my God, he's got aces. He's got aces.
You're joking me. This is a joke.
He's got aces. What?
Clemmy's still hanging on, by the way.
I know.
For dear life. And everyone seems to be getting it in anyway. All in from Paul. Ace 8 offsuit, just shy of 3 big blinds. And Dean with King Jack off, with not a lot more to his name, is going to shove as well. A king folded by Danny. So Paul, best hand. And the same equities as the last hand. Dean missing out. Paul with the best of it. 490 in there.
Here we go. Clemmy, ace 8. Can he survive?
Oh, there's a king.
Oh, we now need an ace.
There's 3 left.
Clements. Oh dear. Running bad at the wrong time.
There is 3 left. It's not on the turn. It's going to have to happen again, Tower.
It's
We've seen it time and time and time
an
again.
Ace from space.
Oh,
It is. It's an ace from space yet again.
that is unbelievable.
Wow.
Paul keeps himself alive with another rivered ace.
Well, he's just announced to the table, I'm all in blind, lads.
Really?
He's just announced to the table, he's all in blind, playing for 61 bag, and he's all in blind. But
No, you're kidding.
he's under the gun, and to be fair, when we've got less than 3 bigs under the gun, we'd be all in anyway with any 2, because you want to win back someone else's big blind and ante. If we wait a hand, we have to post a big blind and ante, and then we win back our own big blind and ante, we win the pot. So there's a lot more merit here of just going all in, because when we do win the pot, we win Zexwan's big blind and ante. Whereas if we wait a hand, we have to call off next hand, and we only win our own ante and big blind back.
I'm not going to lie. I was talking...
Oh my God, he's got aces.
Way. No
he's got
way.
aces.
You're joking me. This is a
got
joke.
aces. What?
This is
What?
You cannot be serious, man.
He said, I am all in blind this hand, lads, and he's got boots.
And look, the Ace-8 social media has got every moment of it as well.
And Martin's like, okay, Queen 9 suited against a blind man. This'll do.
This is an absolute disgrace.
What the hell? Like,
An absolute
I
disgrace.
can't wait to see the table when he turns them over. It's going to be hysterical.
What is going on here? He might call here, by the way,
well, Zexwan is going to probably call here, and then they'll be checking it down to the river.
What is going Everyone's absolutely loving it. He's just got red aces blind. Oh, this is ridiculous. I mean, to be honest, though, 2 people, he's not like a massive favourite here.
67%, yeah. Only going to win this 2 out of 3 times is Clemmy here. Let's see what the flop brings. But the funniest thing, he's not even looked at him
He
yet.
has not seen them.
It's going to be great when we get to the river.
Well, the only thing we're in danger of now is a queen or a 9. Check, check.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
That is safe enough for now. Just needs to fade a 10 and we'll have some hilarity.
Yeah, Queen 9s and 10s to
9.
fade.
He's faded them.
Here we go.
Get to show it down.
Here we go. This is going to be hilarious. He's like, so what have I got here? I need to beat a queen. Oh, that's an ace.
I've not looked.
Oh, that's another ace. Paul Clements up to 11 bigs, all in blind, and he finds the aces. It's just unheard of.
And Martin's got a queen. He's thinking, I've got a ladder here. There's zero chance I'm not laddering here.
Should be a jam for Zexuan with the ace deuce. Only 10 bigs of Clemmy after his treble up.
Obscene.
And he's got sevens. He's got pocket sevens.
No.
he's gonna be up to 1.7 milli.
Mate, no, this is ridiculous. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Paul wakes up with sevens after Zexuan shoves a completely standard shove. And now he's got a chance to be as deep as he's ever been in this tournament. He's got to fade an ace first, though.
Welcome back to the main event. 4 left in this one, and some pretty decent action so far. We've seen some aggressive, active players. Some are still here. Some have fallen by the wayside. Some were late and then got dealt ace-jack. And we are now four-handed.
It was really unfortunate. You come back from being disconnected, pick up ace-jack, and then you're just out. You wish you were disconnected a little longer. But 4 left, Earnshaw.
Yeah, Earnshaw chip leader. And every player will be whelmed by this board. All three will believe they have a chance of having the best hand, at least by the river. And now Earnshaw definitely feeling good about this turn card. It's just a matter of, do they want to bet it, deny some equity from some draws that will exist? And from something like pocket ace that could river a full house.
You still also get called by ace X here in this spot, and we know neither player has it, but, you know, definitely within the range.
Yeah. And to kick things off into our second session today, we're going to give you a $109 ticket. We're not going to just give it to you. You do have to put a keyword in the chat. But that's effectively as good as we can muster. We can't really do better than that. You can't ask more of us than that, I don't believe. I don't believe it would be fair to.
You really have to earn it, guys, by a word in the chat when we tell you to do it.
Yeah, it is tough because there's a lot of people who are going to type the word in, but the only way you can win is by typing that word. And that word is, someone was asking earlier, where are we going to be for 8-8 Live London? Well, we are going to be at the Vic. The Vic is your keyword. You need to put that in the chat if you would like to win a ticket. And even if you do, you might not win, but you can't if you don't.
Yeah, beautiful casino, renovated last year. I got to go to it for the first time. Really enjoyed the free coffee on multiple floors.
I really enjoyed the free trophies.
Oh, they just gave those away?
Well, it felt that easy to me. So you didn't have the same experience?
Well, you know, I did, but the same man who gave you a bunch of chips actually coolered me. So
my favorite part about that one was when he went all in out of turn, and you were like, "No, it's okay."
I was gonna do this anyway. This is like, I'm not gonna like. He the thing is, he had been enjoying himself a bit, you know, and it wasn't intentional. And I was like, this was meant to be. It was fine. It wasn't gonna make a difference to my exact hand.
That was the moment I think I won the tournament. To be honest,
it was a pretty good moment. It was pretty good for you.
Yeah, I tried many a time to get rid of you, and you just wouldn't go away. You're like a bad smell.
Yeah, I just stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really enjoyable tournament, and hopefully you'll have a chance to defend your title there. Do you plan on bringing the trophy to the event?
Probably not. I'll just probably leave it on my shelf, which is where it's been left. Mickey Graham asked, I was going to ask Aaron Browning, has he played in the UK before? I believe he has. I think he was on the final table of a tournament that I won. I think that was correct. Yeah. Yes, that's accurate.
It allowed me to have a UK flag on my Hen and Mob page. Bringing my total flags up to 3. 3.
Do you have a special t-shirt for this year's main event?
I don't have one I thought of yet. I had a few that weren't as good, and like I always feel like if a sequel is not as good as the original, you just don't do it. You know, like it ends up being blah. So
that was very good.
I'll think about it. I have a t-shirt though designed if I do go to London.
Password, please. The free roll is available for a little bit longer. It's first PLC 888. You want to go to the, well, by the way, this is a turn card and a half for Saint Goal. You want to go to the 88 Burger client, go to 88 Burger TV special free roll and register using the password. First PLC 888 is still available for another 2 minutes. Earnshaw here going to go for a bet. What they believe is a value bet, Aaron. They have 0% equity.
he's done this before, picking a smaller size with these middling hands that are just basically block bets that want to get some thin value.
Yes, Saint Goal here going to raise, and Earnshaw is going to call. They are not a believer right now, and that, I think, if you'd ask Saint Goal what river they would like, Aaron, it may well have been exactly that one.
Yeah, ace of clubs wouldn't have been bad. But
yes.
Expect them to bet again, and now Earnshaw just has to decide, are they going to bluff me in this sort of a spot? Thankfully for Earnshaw, he's got second pair and not top pair.
Yeah, but it's functionally the same thing versus large bets, right? In terms of its likelihood of being good. This is not a large bet, though. Although I can't imagine a worse hand than ace-10 betting this amount for value.
No, you're really hoping that they decided to bluff with something like ace-jack. And he gets out of the way.
Yeah, good fold on the river there. So, almost time to give away this ticket.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear, Brits on the wrong side of it for once. They have had the queens perform so well for them today, but now dead max with the queens. They are going to fade the pre-flop caller, and that flop may well save them 25 big blinds.
Yeah, easily could see a world where they decide to 3-bet and have to call off dead max, but now on this sort of a board, hard to see how they get all the money in unless the turn is something very favorable to them.
Did you say did max?
Did max.
Is that how you say dead, or are you just mispronouncing it?
I thought I said it correctly. I think maybe you did I not say it correctly?
No, you did not.
You know what? Maybe it is did max. You don't know.
It could be did
let's
max.
not assume things.
Yeah, we shouldn't assume anything. Poker Paul, congratulations. You've won a $109 ticket. It really is that easy. Didn't have to do much. Later on, we're going to play a really silly game, and you're going to have to guess what Aaron thinks. And Aaron's brain, wow, you don't want to be there for very long. Let me tell you.
Can't even pronounce the word dead. Good luck, everybody.
Exactly, guys. Well, you are still going to give you the opportunity to win by virtue of climbing inside Aaron's brain, but that'll be a much later on in the day because it looks like we have somewhat stabilized in terms of the speed of play. Nothing untoward has happened for a while now.
We haven't lost a player in like 15 minutes, which feels like an eternity. It really does. We were losing them very quickly for a while. And even when we weren't, all the pots were very big. All the pots have been pretty small. Even that nines, queens could, and some could say should, have been much bigger. Yeah,
definitely could have done. And now obviously, 29.75 for fourth, but an extra 1,400 if you can outlast one more player. That has to be playing deeply into Brit's mind when they make a decision like that.
Yeah, just trying to play smaller pots at this point. And you're right, the money becomes more significant as you move up the pay ladder, right? And for a lot of these players, it is a, for some, it was their biggest score ever. For others, it's still a very sizable one that they, want to get the max value out of.
Another full house. We've seen many a full house this evening, maybe the most full houses we've seen since starting this endeavor at the start of the year. And some quiet times here potentially as we delve into the realms. But very shortly, guys, we'll be asking you for your free roll flameouts. Not yet, but very shortly we'll be asking you if you've played today's free roll, exactly how you feel about that. If you've busted, and we'll get you into the rules and regulations of said game very shortly. And some of us will go make a cup of tea/coffee because they don't enjoy it, and that's okay. It's something for everybody. Can really go no wrong. Did you enjoy last week's winner? I know that you saw it.
I did. I had a little bit of FOMO.
Yeah.
I wanted to be there, not for the entire stream, but at least that portion of it. But again, Josh made a really great pick, and he was a excellent host to have in here. We could just bring Josh on, by the way, just to spin the wheel of justice in the future.
Oh yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
I don't know if we can. I'll message him. I'll see if he wants to set his entire Monday nights aside just to show up for 2 minutes and spin the wheel.
Yeah. I don't think he's got anything else going on.
Yeah.
So yes, the current Flameout champion is Danielle 1424 with AA versus 2-2 in brackets. I had 2-2.
It's good.
It's phenomenal.
What are you gonna do?
That is a cooler. When I told Josh that, he actually burst out laughing. So you can't not really give it to that once you do laugh. The Wheel of Justice.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Amazing.
Wow.
We have to
You're
get one now.
our kind of person, Happy Ray. Dead Max here. Trying to take us out of the stagnation that we have found ourselves in. No limp with the 10-5. Wants to preserve that 23 big blind stack. We are looking at Earnshaw carving out a slightly larger lead, and that will be generally what happens for the most part.
And part of that 10-6 fold is just because how aggressive Earnshaw has been, you know, that people are going to give him a little more walks because they're afraid of, you know, dealing with that aggression, especially out of position.
Yeah, great flop here for Brits, who called the open of Earnshaw with 7-3 offsuit, trying to use some of that pressure. And I think that they've decided this board is suitably dreadful. Now I've got to try and maybe begin to give this one up. But will Brits bet they will? And I can't imagine that Earnshaw will find any other reason to do anything but fold. But you never know. They do fold. Right, guys, it's 9:15, and we are looking for your flameouts, guys. If you have played today's free roll, which has now registration is over, if you've busted, we want to know how, who, why, what, if and when, and how you feel about it in our chat. We are playing the free roll flameout. Let us know in a short anecdote exactly what happened to you. Make it funny, make us laugh, and you could be this week's eternal flameout champion for 1 week in the chat.
Eternal.
Yes, I will be running through the submissions shortly. I will give those to Aaron. We do have an all in here as Dead Max went for it with the A6, but unfortunately for them, they're in terrible shape. And Saint Goal is going to knock Dead Max off and make everyone else $1,400 richer. Dead Max has been super aggressive the entire day. Decides to go one step further with that A6, and it just one step too far for Dead Max. It was very entertaining.
They were, and they won $29.75 in prize pool and another $3,000 in bounty, so nearly a 6K score. Pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty
very
good. I mean,
good.
6K is basically the amount you get for getting second with no bounties. So the mystery bounties really did help them out, and you know, congrats to them. 3K bounty.
If when you entered the tournament, someone said, "Hey, Aaron, you can have 60 buy-ins right now," you're probably going to take that.
Yeah, I would take a lot less.
You'd take 2.
There are times I'm playing a tournament and I ask myself, how much would I take? If I could get back to even, would I do that? I'm like, oh yeah. If I can recoup the money from my 4 bullets here, I'd be very happy.
Yeah. So we are having submissions coming through, guys. We really appreciate all the effort you put into the submissions. Last week was unbelievable standard. I can't tell you how thankful we are that you play our silly games with us. We really do enjoy having you involved in everything that's going on, and hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. And we know some of you don't, but some of you are making coffee and can't hear us right now, so it's fine. But yes, we are going to read through those in around 3 minutes time, and Aaron will be back to picking All Is Right in the World. The flameout will be chosen by Aaron Baroni.
It'll be nice. I'll really enjoy it. I actually had to shut down the screen. I had the chat up and I realized people started putting submissions in. I'm like, oh, that's right. I can close it down.
Integrity of the game, man.
That's right.
Saint Goal has moved into second in chips, by the way. And the unlikeliest scenario would be for Brits to win me an extra point here. But, oh, look at this from Earnshaw. Super aggressive with the deuces and folds out the 10-9 pair plus got shot there. Using Brits as, I would say short, it is a shorter stack, but it's not exactly short. Saint Goal preserves the chips, doesn't want to fall into third place here.
Yeah, and you see this a lot, actually. This is not really a bubble, right? Everybody gets paid, but obviously the 2 people who outlast the third get paid more. And so Saint Goal and Brits are going to really be battling for that second place spot right now. Neither really wants to get, you know, all their chips in the middle, and Earnshaw can just lean on them, and he uses the deuces there to fold out. It's really a good hand, right? Second pair and a gutter, and Saint Goal just didn't want to play for his tournament life there and realized if I call here, I might have to call river.
I'm wondering whether I should pick a flame out one time. I'm not really sure that's how our dynamic works.
I mean, we could, you know, maybe I'll tell you what.
Flirt with it 1 week and see how it goes.
You know, we could do that. Maybe on the week where you win Ambassador of the Week, then you'll be able to do it.
So we won't ever be doing that, guys. It's not going to happen.
You were going to win it on your birthday, but you just didn't show up.
Oh, I was here with Belzer. I went for an early birthday dinner and then was told it was cancelled. Right, no more flameouts, but we do have pocket eights here for Brits. He's probably going to take this one down. So, Aaron, not only are we going to go through flameouts, but play-by-play Aaron Baroni is here. Off we go.
Nick very much enjoyed my play-by-play last time, so let's try to recreate that.
Oh, it was unbelievable. We definitely need to make a clip out of that. Queen 10 here versus something else.
It's hard to see it on the screen, chat, when you're looking at fours for Earnshaw. Brits here with the ace queen, likely to be 3-betting here. And there it is. Earnshaw with a few options. Could flat. Could just 4-bet jam.
Right, what we got? Yeah, we'll have that.
Let's go for a call. Second pair and a heart for Earnshaw, way ahead in terms of equity. And Brits, not a flop you want to see with the ace queen. Does decide to close his eyes and bet. Don't think 1-bet's going to get it done.
No, we'll have that.
And Earnshaw raises it. Trying to deny the equity of the ace queen. And he does. Takes that one down. Three terrible hands.
Oh, God. That's an incredible amount of effort. We don't have that one.
Earnshaw remaining aggressive, raising the small blind here with the 8-6. And Brits just goes for the shove this time. Thinks he has the best hand a lot, and he does.
Oh.
Earnshaw opening the button again. And the faster, for me anyway, my opponents fold, the more emboldened I am to be raising these spots. Because it just lets me know they have no desire to really play with anything marginal.
Goodness me, this is tough. This is really tough again. Guys, I swear the standard is just getting better every week.
Now Earnshaw isoing gets snapped by Saint Goal. Usually that's sort of a hand that doesn't really want to fold, but didn't want to put more money in. But Earnshaw with a straight draw. Queen or a 7 would give him a straight. Obviously, queen would be not so great for him, given Saint Goal's hand.
I said it before, I'll say it again. The worst part
Takes it down.
of the flame out by far is having to say no to people, to not put them on the list.
I mean,
It's tough, man.
I thought you would enjoy that part.
No, because I like the effort that people put into our silly game, even if they don't make the shortlist. You know what I mean? And for that reason, we got 6 entrants today.
Okay. I'm fine with that. I honestly, if we ever get fewer than 4, I'm surprised. I thought we might, by the end of the year, we'll probably have like 7 or 8.
I don't know what, I guess I could, but I want people to hear their submissions, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I could even put more in here, guys. Look, just know, even if you don't make it on the shortlist, we really appreciate you. And we want you to keep trying because it's so funny. And we really appreciate everyone that enters, but there can only be 6. There can only be 6 finalists. Aaron, are you ready for today's free roll flame out contenders?
I'm ready. I imagine this hand just ended there. Yeah.
Right. First up, we have AK-dead.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, out with JJ versus Ace 4 off pre-flop all in, but it is like ever on the flop the first 4 and yes right on the river the second 4. So I learned only experience today. The only chips I accumulated was regrets. Week after week, it's any 2 rags versus premiums. Was dead on the turn. GG potatoes.
That is probably one of the most classic free roll endings I've ever heard. It not only references the free roll loss from, I know we're not supposed to be in the middle of today, but just the lifetime of free roll misery.
Have you ever heard of Oscar bait?
No.
When someone releases a film like just in time for the Oscars, so it gets nominated with loads of recency bias. That was like flame out bait. It feels like it was so good it could almost be cultivated to be so good. Anyway, 2 more.
Yep.
Oh, 3 more.
3.
Called with AA to AA Jack. Why does AA always get beat by a straight? No G or H in straight. And out I am. He whore. Comma, sorry.
See, okay, go on. I don't want to critique every single one every time. Go on.
Okay. Next up. AT. Nice hand. All in. AQ. Nice hand.
Okay. Okay.
All right. And lastly, I joined the free roll feeling clever and bold, with dreams of a finish and stories retold. Pocket aces arrived. I thought, this is my day. The river disagreed and carried my stack away. I didn't cash, but I played my role, busting out of a free roll in spectacular style and soul. I'm sad that I'm out, but I have a flame out. Would you like to hear any again?
I would like. Okay. I want the third one.
You want the third one?
I think it's the third one in the comma hee haw. That one,
Okay.
And those are 2 I want to hear, and then yeah.
So you want the potatoes one?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. The only chips I accumulated was Ragrets. Week after week, it's any 2 rags versus premiums. Was dead on the turn, GG potatoes.
Okay. All right.
And then called with AA to AA Jack. Why does AA always get beat by a straight with no G or H? And out I am. He whore, comma, sorry.
Okay. Okay. You talked about them being cultivated. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, but
Okay.
the 5 high barrel, by the way, here, unlikely to work given clubs bricked and St. Goal's seen how aggressive Earnshaw's been, but we'll see if we can get it through here for about half pot.
Sorry, is there a game of poker we should be paying attention to? Same goal here. Can they pick this off? Half pot, as you said, less than half pot, which means they need to call and win less than 25% of the time, which can be a very powerful motivator to call.
Given how aggressive Earnshaw's been, I'm shocked.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There's the call. St. Goal, lots of 50 bigs, picks it off, and now Brits cut adrift with 20 bigs.
All right. So I think hee haw, comma, donkey could win. That whatever that one could definitely win.
There's no donkey. Where's your donkey from?
The hee haw is the sound a donkey makes. It's
Okay.
the implication of a present donkey. I do really like that one, but I feel like that we want to reward effort as well. Oh,
Okay. All in here
Brits
from
here.
Earnshaw. King, queen suited for Brits. Right on the cusp. They are. The shortest stack by a long way. They're going to go for it. And Earnshaw is in the lead and continues to be so on the turn. Needs to be a king or a queen on the river. It isn't. It could have been a jack as well. But Earnshaw with the aggressive jam. Brits calls it off a king queen. You cannot really argue with that one. And Brits earns me a point and they earn themselves $4,375. Well played. We are heads up.
honestly, that was very important for you. And I'm happy for Brits as well. Not only does Brits win the money, which is important, I think they've earned a lifelong fan in Nick Eastwood, because Nick had been doing very, very poorly with the player picks. So anybody who would actually get him a point gets moved into his, Hall of Fame elite player / fan club. Mm-hmm. So congrats for that as well, Brits. And congrats to whoever was last on our free roll flameout, because I just am a sucker for a rhyming couplet that goes 8 lines. So we're going to go with that one.
Okay. Hopefully you're not dissuaded by the fact that it was AI slop.
I mean, I think it's too late. I think it's too late. You know what?
Okay.
One for the bots.
Okay, Mickey Graham, that means you are this week's free roll flame out champion for 1 week. Yes, it is over, Pits. Congratulations, we've just awarded it, and we are heads up as well. 60 big blinds effective, so this one could take a while. Mickey Graham doesn't want to win.
Well, that's a shame. We should have entered the competition.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have entered. You've won. Have that.
We could just write, Chat GPT has won.
Yeah, we could do that.
But yeah, I mean, we could be here for a while. But again, Earnshaw has been very aggressive. And when you're the chip leader, you've been aggressive and it's working. A lot of times you just, continue to press that button. And so we still could see some big pots here.
Now ChatGPT has to play the 109. No, none of that. There's no actual reward for this. Can you tell ChatGPT that they've won, Mickey Graham? Could you let them know that they won?
Also tell them that there would be a prize for them if the commentators were paid more.
They say, yeah, 2 seconds. Right, we'll get news from the winner soon.
Yeah. Earnshaw barrels the turn here, and I think if you're going to barrel the turn with his hand, you're actually going to turn into a bluff on this river, right? Like you have a flush blocker, you block 2 pair. It's an overcard of the king. You could make a king fold. You could definitely make a jack fold. So I expect him to go for it.
Yeah, it's a good river to get folds, and here comes a very healthy 80%-ish looking sizing from Earnshaw, and St. Goal has been very suspicious so far this evening, specifically against Earnshaw, and if they call here and win, we will have a new chip leader. St. Goal, can they sniff this one out? It would be such a tough call with only a pair of kings here, but functionally, performs quite similarly to any pair, just a bluff catcher. It's just really a matter of, do they think Earnshaw's bluffing this spot? And they don't go for the call, so Earnshaw really extends that gap now. A huge swing.
Yeah, I think that's a spot where I think folding is okay. It's understandable given how bad the board runs out. But against a really aggressive opponent, you just have to put the money in more than you would like because they're capable of bluffing. I will say Earnshaw's combo I thought was wonderful to use the bluff. A lot of people don't use that. They don't use showdown. But against an aggressive opponent who's going to find enough bluff combos, you might just have to put the money in.
Yeah, tough one there for St. Goal. Does let it go, and they're still in the game. We're still waiting for ChatGPT's response to the fact that they've won the flame out.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of the Terminator movies. It's always good to make sure that the AI bots are on your side,
Some absolute slop in response that I'm definitely not going to read. It's gone too far. To everyone still in the tournament, play well, run good, and remember today's bad beat is tomorrow's hilarious story. That's true. Thank you, Ace8 Poker. I've never been so honoured to finish so spectacularly nowhere. That is quite poignant. Pair of deuces here for St. Goal. Rivered pair of 8s for Earnshaw, and check would work in the favour of Earnshaw here and take them way over the 100 big blind mark. And St. Goal now getting cut adrift. It really does feel tough when you can't win any pots, specifically ones that are like quite meaty. That's a fairly significant size of pot for this stage of heads up, and over a 4-1 chip lead now for Earnshaw heads up.
Yeah, I mean, he had made a really good call in the turn there with bottom pair and was correct. And then just Earnshaw rivers the third pair and he lose that one.
Yeah, and St. Goal will feel like top pair is the nuts as they only have 22 big blinds in this 9 big blind pot, and Earnshaw is going to continue being aggressive, but we know St. Goal going nowhere, and happily so. And is going to shove it in now, wants to protect their top pair. It's not let their hand get much better, to be fair to them. A lot of turn cards are difficult to navigate.
I'm ahead of all the draws, which there are a lot of. I don't block the draws. I have 2 overs to top pair. They never have better than top pair. I'm surprised he folded. I think I would have actually called just because you never expect your opponent to just shove a hand like 2 pair in position. So if they're capped at 1 pair, but they have all the draws, I think you have more than enough equity to call.
They would have been in behind, but in a nutshell, you can say would have been incorrect. But overall, you might well be right. How likely is it that they have a really good hand, given the multitude of draws that are available?
Yep.
Definitely something to consider. Gut shot develops here for Earnshaw, who's been very aggressive in this particular kind of spot. And we know that a large bet will be very hard to hold on to here, but they do not go for it. And now just ace high for Earnshaw, hoping to get to showdown this St. Goal. And they will do, and win with a pair of deuces.
Yeah, and Earnshaw decides to slow down a little bit after being really aggressive. He's seen that he's been called down, at least for 2 streets, with very little, but they were hands that were still the best hand. And so trying to shift it to a slower gear here. And when you've been running over your opponent and they start to call down a bit wider than you would like, it is time for you to switch things up as well. Otherwise, you'll just keep barreling into a range that doesn't want to fold.
Yeah, absolutely. Top pair here for St. Goal, who's beginning to pick up a little head of steam here. And the 4 of diamonds on the turn doesn't change the leader in this one. In fact, gives St. Goal even more equity. Earnshaw now with a gut shot, though. It's the most we can say about their hand, and they continue to be aggressive. It is not going to work right now, but could it work on this King River? Just 8 high for Earnshaw. No removal to a flush. Nothing at all, in fact, really working for them in their hand. But sometimes that's all you need. Pop back here for Earnshaw. They've been very aggressive. They continue to be so. Do they want to follow this one through? No, they don't.
Yeah, and I think that's a good check there, just because with St. Goal's hand, I don't think the shove's going to work. But Earnshaw's correctly realized that my opponent, again, is calling me down wide. I don't need to fire that 3rd barrel all the time. I have a bad hand in terms of interacting with the board. And so he just gives that one up.
Yep, absolutely. 3.5 here from Earnshaw. We want to talk maybe about the value of a larger raise size from the button?
I think some of the value might be in opponents are more versed in dealing with min raises heads up. And so picking a larger sizing, they're not maybe ready for that. I will say versus a larger size, you want to be defending tighter. But usually when I see people all of a sudden start using the large size, it's more of a, this seems fun than part of the game tree they've developed.
Now we're going to see a click back here after a limp on the button. We get the ISO from the 7-4 offsuit to 5.5, and St. Goal using the fabled Big Little. Earnshaw was a non-believer for a moment there, maybe just taking some time just to reset. Got their hand caught in the cookie jar a little bit, and now closer than ever, this heads-up match since we started. Earnshaw with 9-3 offsuit goes for the limp, and St. Goal with King 10 suit, basically a monster heads-up.
Yeah, and Earnshaw's really been in control of this table ever since the full house over full house. But really one big pot could change that, could give St. Goal the chip lead. And I think St. Goal still has the momentum right now, even though, they have the fewest amount of chips in this heads-up match.
Yeah, both players with a little something on this King 9-7 open ender for Earnshaw. Pair of 7s for St. Goal. And here comes overbet from Earnshaw and a very quick call from St. Goal, who has seen some of the hands that Earnshaw has been showing down on the river and noticing that the barrels on the turn were weak. And wow, Earnshaw this time does not give up the 8 high, goes for the overbet and takes down this pot.
Yeah, a wonderful combo to use there. Unfortunately, we're already deep into this next hand. We can't talk about it, but a great one. And you got to pick your spots, right? You don't want to bluff as much as you were before, but you still want to have that move. And Earnshaw still applying it selectively and working really well so far.
Yeah, it's also a lot to say for the fact that your opponent knows you've been bluffing a lot. Really, would you keep bluffing when I know that you've been bluffing? And that just becomes an infinite leveling war. And sometimes you just keep cracking on and feels like no different to as if you hadn't seen anything.
Yeah, and I think that people are starting to adjust well to slightly bigger bets than pot, right? But the 2x pot, people still overfold to, and we just saw that there from Earnshaw.
Yeah.
Again, you put people in situations they're not used to. I think they typically get uncomfortable and lean towards fold.
Yeah.
And that's part of why aggression works so well.
Aggression is very good, especially heads up. It's very hard to make hands, and even sometimes you make hands that you don't really want to pay large bets with. It's very rare that you have something that you're very confident about being good. So aggression, very, very much king heads up. It can land you in some trouble, but we can see that Earnshaw carving out a nice lead despite a couple of setbacks.
Yeah, most of the time when you're playing even regular full ring poker, you don't want to face huge bets on the river. So in heads up, when you're playing more hands overall, you have weaker ranges, it's even more true.
Yeah. Pair of 5s on the river here for St. Goal, but they can't imagine that it's the best hand. Earnshaw will certainly think that their hand is good, given the action so far in this one.
Yeah, decent spot to actually value bet.
Does
when
value
your
bet,
opponent checks
no
back
value.
the king turn there, they rarely have a straight, so...
Yeah, it's going to be folded. And we are approaching a time where I will be giving you an opportunity to win another ticket, guys. So stay tuned. I'll be asking Aaron a question in the next couple of minutes, and you will be able to see if you can win our last 109 ticket. But that's not the end of the tickets today. There will be a 320 at the end of today's stream. We don't know exactly when that'll be right now. Earnshaw floats the jack high, and Saint Gold with only 5 high had the gut shot from the flop, and there's no way Earnshaw can continue clinging on here with just jack high.
It's rare to see a check raise on this sort of a texture in a limped pot. So Earnshaw thinking jack high could be the best hand, and it is, but he lets it go on the turn here.
That would have been a pretty sick hang on the turn with nothing really to draw to, just hoping that your opponent has something exactly like they had, maybe a 5-4 as well. Does seem like it would be overbluffed, and Earnshaw was definitely suspicious, but it's not like you can't have better hands to defend with there than just jack high.
Yeah, sometimes it comes down to I have better hands in my range, which is totally fair and theoretical. But other times you see is more live, and we tend to romanticize it in poker. You just don't think they have it, so you don't fold.
No. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to get here. Saint Gold with the aggressive 3-bet. It's a 5.5 big blind opening, and Earnshaw smacks the flop with king and queen. Saint Gold completely whiffing with a6 off, who is going to go for the check. Was hoping for a pre-flop fold, did not get that, and now Earnshaw king queen on queen 7-3. It doesn't really get stronger than this in a heads-up match.
Yeah, and for that reason, I like this really small sizing, this quarter pot, especially given how the stacks are, right? Does get a float out of the ace high.
A float from ace high, hoping that Earnshaw could just be stabbing something random like a jack 10 or anything that we could be potentially ahead of. Earnshaw, as we can see, will be very happy with this turn card. Saint Gold now facing effectively an all-in, is forced to let this one go. And on that note, Aaron, are you ready for Aaron Thinks?
I'm ready. I'll think fast.
Okay, guys, Aaron will be fielding a question from me. You guys are looking for the answer that Aaron thinks is correct to the question that I ask. It won't matter what actually our answer is, even though that may well be an achievable answer, as I delved into earlier. But Aaron is going to think about it as well as he can, and he's going to make the best possible assumption about the answer. You guys, your only job is to guess what you think that answer that he gives is going to be. And the closest person to that answer will win. No duplicate answers. If you do guess and you see that it's already been taken, you may put repeat answer and guess one more time. But any duplicate answers will be disqualified. Understood? Great. That's wonderful. Aaron.
Yes.
Next week, the main event is not Rakeless, as far as I'm aware. It is the sale week. So we will slash the buy-in in half, and the 100K guarantee will remain the same. Pretty good deal, right?
It's great.
We don't know whether Rakeless will be coming back. We fear it may for our jobs. But I will ask you a Rakeless-related question, just in case it is the last time. Over the course of this year, we've had an array of Rakeless events. An undetermined amount of Rakeless events. Quite a few, some may say. If the players in these events had been paying rake, how much rake would they have paid?
Across all of our Rakeless events for this calendar year?
Yes, across every Rakeless event in 2026. How much rake would a rake player play if a rake player could pay rake? Is that right?
Yeah, it's a very interesting, it's like a limerick or whatever it is.
Yes.
A modern day online casino limerick. Okay.
The command is quite funny as well. Yeah. So yeah, how much rake would have been paid if all the players that entered the Rakeless tournaments had paid the communal regular amount of rake? Happy with that, Aaron?
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Right, Aaron's going to go deep into the tank. Well, I take this very aggressive check raise from Saint Gold, Earnshaw here, with just 8 high, no club, no direct equity to a straight. He's going to let this one go, and Saint Gold hanging around, trying their best to remain in the game for as long as they can. Ace-3 may well help them do that exactly here. Earnshaw has been very aggressive versus limp and has used large sizes, and we know that Saint Gold has enjoyed clicking it right back, but this time goes for call, and here is a king high board for Earnshaw, who again flops best. Ace-3 gonna be peeled, and Saint Gold, you have to have a lot of sympathy because it can be really tempting to let these hands go, and quite often if you do fold this all the time, you are going to be getting run over in a heads up match. And it just so happens that most of the time that Earnshaw's been betting, they actually have had just top pair or sometimes better. Now a slight pippage for St. Goal. Maybe they can find a way back in this heads-up match because 4-1. Earnshaw keeping St. Goal at arm's length.
Yeah, my answer is in, by the way, so we'll close the contest soon.
Couple of pairs of eights here.
Yeah, still top or second pair for both. St. Goal top kicker here.
Yeah, pretty easy check and call. And the 7 of hearts on the turn may make both players believe they have the best hand, but they will, as we know, be chopping unless something changes.
Yeah, Earnshaw's had a lot of bluffs in these spots. He hasn't really had a lot of middling hands, so interesting to see what he does here, and he checks it back.
Yeah, going to be a check back, and here comes the value bet from St. Goal. Earnshaw with a fairly straightforward call of their own, and that is going to be chopped up. St. Goal unable to get any further back into this game. But and one double up makes things very, very interesting, as we always say. It's just that Earnshaw has that freebie, has that one all in to win the game rather than get back in it, and that is a big difference.
Yeah, and that's kind of why you, little 10-3 float, the value of accumulating chips is you can survive a hit, right? As you lose a flip, you lose an 80-20, you get coolered. And Earnshaw definitely has some room for that. Just barrels a 4-3.
Yeah, St. Goal hasn't even been particularly easy to run over, and yet they've floated a lot of hands that they could have easily have let go, and Earnshaw just relentlessly just attacking on turns, specifically on turns, it has to be said. Flush draw here for St. Goal. Earnshaw with a pair of 9s, and you have to assume heads up. This would be the best hand more often than not, and it is on this occasion as well. St. Goal just calling this time, and the 8 of hearts on the turn card. Earnshaw with 2 9s very well could be getting value from a 6 or an 8. Flush draw here for St. Goal out of position. It's tough to hang on, but they hang on and river the flush as well. No check yet, which means they may be thinking about donking. And here comes a very quick donk shove for near pot.
It's really hard to imagine a hand they have that check calls twice that bricks this river. There are some heart draws, I guess, but not that many. And Earnshaw makes a pretty good fold there. I thought St. Goal just might check shove the turn. I guess an aggressive player, you have 5 high, but you have still, a flush draw worth of equity. And we know it wouldn't have worked, but versus a lot of parts of Earnshaw's range, he could have won the pot uncontested. Yeah,
I think Earnshaw deserves a lot of credit for that hand as well. Bet when they had the best hand, let it go when it wasn't best anymore. And it's a potential tough one here because Earnshaw has a hand that performs pretty well heads up, generally speaking. And it's going to jam. Definitely a little bit stronger than I was expecting there from Earnshaw, who is dead on this turn card as St. Goal takes the chip lead. 2 pair on the river for Earnshaw. I was not expecting the jam from Earnshaw, but you can understand it given what we've seen from these players pre-flop. There's been a lot of aggression, specifically versus limps and also in 3-bet as well. Earnshaw just taking that big little all the way. And now we have, Aaron, parity.
An actual heads-up match. Even stacks. For a second there, St. Goal did get the chip lead, and Earnshaw gets it right back.
There's a chance we could be here for a while, guys.
But that's the funny thing about these sort of matches. You could be here for a long time, and you could be here for 1 to 3 hands.
Yeah, exactly. It could be over in 1 hand. It could be over in an hour. Some may hope it's over soon. Myself, I'm just enjoying being part of it for as long as I can.
Can St. Goal check raising the gut shot straight draw here? Expected to work often, but Earnshaw has been floaty.
Yeah, extremely floaty. There's been some egregious floating going on between both of these players, and you really do have to do that heads up. You cannot just simply let things go because you don't have a pair. And Earnshaw bets the turn, takes it down. As we know, St. Goal had the 7 high. And a couple of clubby hands here for both these players. And already Earnshaw building a 20 big blind lead after that very impressive float into turn bet. And top pair for Earnshaw. Possibilities on future streets for St. Goal with this backdoor hand.
Yeah, some of the possibilities include making a flush, which he would not like. But definitely a board you want to stab here.
Yeah. going to be a stab, and Earnshaw will feel like they do have the best hand, but going to let a card come off, which is a club. Both players will be hoping to reach the 5th club on the river, but we know that only Earnshaw would profit from that situation, and St. Goal trying to get one through on the turn. Plan B is to hit a club. They do not, and they will not know that they desperately needed not to. Earnshaw still with a pair of 10s. Can St. Goal leverage them off it? It does seem unlikely, but with only 8 high, do they go for it?
Yeah, given you have 8 high here, one of the worst hands in your range, there is an argument to betting it in this spot. Even though you know your opponent probably is going to fold a queen, they might fold a 10, 7. Hands like Jack 9, King 9 of clubs, you can make them fold.
Here comes a round just over half the pot from St. Goal. Will that be enough? Earnshaw getting a pretty good price with a premium pure bluff catcher. Feels like Earnshaw may sniff this one out, and they do. St. Goal, after getting themselves back to even, is immediately handicapped down to 30 big blinds again.
Yeah, I think if that bet's going to work, it just has to be a lot bigger. That's the only thing. When you're targeting at 10, if you bet, half pot-ish, your opponent's getting too good of a price. Sometimes you just have to bet a really big amount. And I know people don't like doing that when they don't have a good hand. They want to do it with value, not a bluff. But, that's just the way that you're going to have to win the pot, is by being aggressive and putting out big bets.
Yeah, Earnshaw being aggressive with little bets as well, taking down a lot of pots. St. Goal really struggling for air in this heads-up match, just trying to cultivate a way back into the game. They thought they had it with the ace-king, but very quickly brought back down to earth and back down to 27 big blinds. Here comes Earnshaw again. A call-in position from St. Goal, who has the nut flush draw, but Earnshaw takes the lead again with a pair of 8s and checks it over to St. Goal.
Yeah, and here St. Goal has a couple options. Could bet your equity. Could also just check back if you think you have the best hand and best equity.
Yeah, this sizing to me dictates that St. Goal may be sizing up for a turn jam, and Earnshaw turns the 2 pair, would snap it off, and there's a spade on the river, and there's no reason for Earnshaw to believe that this is not the best hand right now in this line, and they may well rip it in themselves. They're going to go for the trap. We know that St. Goal could get paid for the absolute lot here. Earnshaw is begging for them to shove, but they don't realize that it's all but over for them. Earnshaw surely calls this off. It's just a matter of, do they jam for the last 1 big blind? They surely can't fold this.
You still beat some value hands, so I expect a jam. A fold would be, wow.
Wow, that's an incredible fold. What a fold from Earnshaw. We thought they were checking to snap it off, but they found a miracle fold, and now have an unbelievable situation here. St. Goal up to 37 big blinds, but these 2 hands are huge heads up.
Yeah, money could easily get in right here. A 3-bet and a 4-bet shove and a call.
Ace 10 suited for St. Goal, one of the best hands they've had. Same can be said for Earnshaw here. Ace Queen. Definitely worth another raise pre-flop. They're gonna shove. St. Goal calls it off. And now looking for a 10. On the river is St. Goal or a chop. It is neither of those. And Earnshaw, after an incredible fold in the previous hand, finds a way to see it off in the very next one. And they are a deserving champion. $8,140 for first. And a really fantastic heads-up performance from Earnshaw.
Yeah, and if they don't fold the river, the hand before the 8 deuce, that last hand we just saw probably isn't the last hand. Yeah. Right, getting an ace 10 suited for about 40 big blinds, 35, sure, totally fine. You don't expect it to happen if they both have 55 or 60, right? And so that incredible fold that we were both very surprised by that we both don't make is pretty much what leads Earnshaw to victory here. They played really well, really aggressive once they got the chip lead, and very deserving champion. Congrats to them.
Yeah, and let's not forget, they had some pretty gnarly spots early on with around 8 or 7 players left where they could very well have stuck in the money and been out. And that is why you hang on to your chips in a lot of these very high pressure ICM situations, because you never know what situations you could fall yourself into later on, and who falls by the wayside along the way, hoping for a few ladders. And Earnshaw got a little bit more than they bargained for today in terms of first place money. Well played indeed. Now, we do have 2 more things to do. Sorry,
I know we have to give away one last Earnshaw bonus point.
Yeah.
I do think it is really important, as you said, to remember that those spots early did not go their way, and they didn't just punt it off or try to quickly get it back. They just played their game. And I don't think we had a lot of Earnshaw believers in the chat at that point.
No.
Right? A lot of people were just like, well, they're either too tight or they're scared, or they're not playing a style that's going to lead to winning. And obviously that was wrong, right? They continued to still open hands, be aggressive, find their spots, chip up, make a full house under a smaller full house, and ride that to the victory. So well done.
Yep, and well done to our winner of Aaron Thinks as well. Aaron, I asked you how much rake would have been paid if we were charging rake in the Rakeless events of 2026, and you said what and why.
So I think we've done 2 months of the 109 being Rakeless. I know we did other times of it in previous year, so I didn't think it was, I thought it was only 2 months in 2026 basically. But we also had the 250 that we did that was Rakeless. And so I believe
some opening events as well.
Was that?
And so there were some opening events as well. I'm not sure if you caught those. Correct.
So I had, in the 109s, I had about 9,000 of rake saved per event. So I had 8 of those, and that's 72K. And then I had the 250, which is 40K. And then I put in another 10K for the other events you were talking about, like an opening event here. And I'm sure there was something else there. There have been so many Rakeless events that I've actually lost track how many we've had, which is crazy for a variety of reasons. One being, as a player, I always pay attention to that. But yeah, so my number is 122,000.
122,000 is the exact amount of rake that's been saved by all of our players playing Rakeless events this year. Congratulations if you played any of those and saved your rake. But also congratulations to Goomal, who said 122,400. What an unbelievable guess. Congratulations, Goomal, on your victory. You have won, and one more person will be winning this evening as well as we move into the Wheel of Justice.
Correct. For one more week, it will not be the Wheel of Justice. Justice?
Justice, yeah.
I think it's a great thing. We could do that. Just have him come on, pretend to spin the wheel, just Joshin. Then he does, just more Josh puns. Mm-hmm. That's what the stream needs. But for now, we just have the wheel and a $320 ticket to give away, which I hope you guys will be okay with, because it's a pretty
should be fun.
Meaty ticket.
Meaty indeed, as we are going to spin. Would you like to, when you come back, you would like to? Okay.
Because Josh did a good job. And I know that as much as I'd love to have him here, I don't want him to replace all parts of this,
Yeah, true.
So what would you give Josh out of 10?
Oh, 9.6. He stood up.
I was going to actually stand up.
He had a run up.
Well, I was going to stand up, and now it feels like I'm just going to copy him. So I got to do it from a seated position. All right, ready?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Spin the wheel.
Wow, that was a very Aaron Baroni spinning of a wheel. Let's see if we can get a winner first off here. We didn't manage it last week. Let's see who we're going to finish on here. It looks like Irina Paulina. Irina Paulina, are you here? You need to be here. If you're not here, that is unfortunate for you. Claudium, that's not how this works. Here, Irina Paulina is here, Aaron. Well done on that spin. That was a very good spin. Not here. Respin. No, Irina, you have won your $320 ticket. Congratulations. That is a big, big win for you. Thank you for watching, Irina, and thank you everyone for watching this evening. We got it done before the second break for the first time in what feels like 2 months.
And the more important thing, I know you want to talk about it, you got a point. Finally.
I did get a point. 14-9.
As much as I would love to run away with this competition, guys, it gets a little bit more bleak every week that my lead grew. And so it's nice to see Nick win a little bit. You don't want to scare the player off.
You threw, didn't you, deliberately? Although you did say who the other person you were thinking about picking, they also fell by the wayside early on as well.
They got cooler pretty hard. We glossed over that because we were in shock of the runner full house.
Yeah.
Mayan King going out 7th or 8th, which as much as there are like some free roll flame out type stories, to have that sort of thing happen to you, a big cooler at this final table, is really gross and unfortunate. But it was to the the happiness of our champion, and again, a well-deserved champion.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I'm just happy to be back. Like, I know I missed last week. I was busy flying.
Yeah.
But wouldn't miss this one. And I guess we could find out next week how the tournament's going to be ran. I guess it's sale week, right?
It's a sale, yeah. So $55 will be the entry, and the guarantee will stay the same.
That's great, actually.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about, somebody winning 6K, and you being like, hey, if you could sign up for 60 buy-ins, would you do that? I'm like, yeah. Well, that person, if they had the same result next week, would win 120 buy-ins. So, I'd rather sign up for that.
Yeah, seems pretty good to me. And that's going to do it for this week. We appreciate everybody tuning in, playing our silly games and laughing alongside us. We really do love having you all here, and we're looking forward to seeing you again next week. We obviously do have some more events this week going on. We have, is it really me tomorrow night?
It's always you.
It's me again tomorrow night. I don't know how I've managed it. I actually don't remember being told it was definitely tomorrow, but it looks like it is me. It looks like it's me doing Snap Attack. I guess that does free me up for the rest of the month somewhat, so we'll take it. And it is Aaron on Wednesday playing against Ian Simpson in Blast Off. So tune into those. There'll be some things to win and some fun to be had. But for this event, that's all she wrote. We have Earnshaw as your champion, and we'll see you next week for Sale Week. All the best.